Hey, look, I guess you guys probably forgot about me, but yo, we are back, baby. We are back. And we are back with the Beeline ENT, baby. Thank you guys so much. The Beeline Entertainment Show is back officially today. And as you can see, we have a screen on the screen. But yo, listen, y'all ain't even ready because you don't even know what we're going to talk about today. But we just had something happen, and it's in the world of, you know, your boy Brian B. You see my man Derrick's shirt over here. You see his shirt over here. Listen, it's in the world of WWE. Who's that? That's a New Day, right? The New Day got WWE. Listen, we talking about the Royal Rumble, baby. That's right, y'all. We doing the Royal Rumble cover, and I got my man here, Mr. Derrick T Lewis, on with your boy. It's me, Brian B. Let's go.
Let's make some noise.
This movie right here.
Signed to a local hot label, Big On Records.
I'm gonna do it later. Now.
It's the Beeline. It's the Beeline. It's the Beeline. ENT.
Yes, it feels so good. Yo, listen, yo, guys, do y'all like that new intro to the Beeline ENT? Yo, I love it, man. I'm so happy. I got 2 new intros to the show. I've wanted to have like really nice ones for a while, and I finally made them. Got a chance to really put them in. Hey, your boy doing the editing still. I'm really killing it over here. But hey, without further ado, like I said, we got a screen on the screen. Now, let me explain Mr. Derrick T Lewis to you guys. You guys haven't met him yet. Me and Derrick T Lewis, we actually sat down. We had a whole interview, and we talked, and we were going to have one on Beeline Web Show. But your boy made an error. You know, IT Tiff ain't around no more. She's over here. You know, she floated off into oblivion. But yeah, kind of erased our interview together. So, you know, Derrick T Lewis, he's a big figure in the wrestling world, and you know, he has a big job. We're gonna get to know that job as well. He's also an actor. This guy's got phenomenal talent, man. Artist, music talent. So, Derrick, without further ado, man, yo, shout yourself out. What's going on, man?
Hey, Brian, thanks for having me back on again, man. I appreciate it. To give the people, your fans, as far as my background's concerned, I've been an actor for the last 12 years, and I have, if you for all my film and television credits, music video credits, and everything, you can go on to imdb.com and just search Derrick T Lewis, and everything will speak for itself as far as my resume is concerned. I've been a recording artist now for close to 6 years now. My latest record, Every Second Make It Count, is available now. The music video is available on all platforms. And as he alluded to, I'm also in the world of professional wrestling. I'm the ring announcer for the world famous Monster Factory Pro Wrestling out of Paulsboro, New Jersey, owned and operated by head coach Danny Cage, and also Missy Sampson's also one of the coaches there as well. You name the wrestler, they've come through the Monster Factory. I'm talking about current stars like Sheamus, current stars like Matt Riddle, current stars like Damian Priest from the all WWE. And if you go to AEW, the Dark Order member number 10, Cody Vance, he's a member of the he was from the Monster Factory. QT Marshall, he was from the Monster Factory. Nick Komoroto, he's also a member of the Monster Factory. He also from the Monster Factory. And if you go to Impact Wrestling, Steve Macklin, who used to be known as Steve Cutler with the WWE with the Forgotten Sons, he was also, again, a Monster Factory guy. And if you look at the legends, you know, King Kong Bundy, the Big Show, Bam Bam Bigelow, the Godfather,
so crazy,
the Headbangers, you know what I mean? Raven, everybody has come through they were Monster Factory guys. So it has a lineage going back to the early 1980s. It was owned and operated by the late great Pretty Boy Larry Sharp, God rest his soul. And he was the one that was ushering in all this talent, and he trained Dan in the mid to late 90s, and then Dan took over operations in 2011. So again, the cream rises to the top, and
the cream rises to the top. Yeah,
man. So big ups to
Yeah.
Dan, big ups to Missy, and again, everybody that I work with, past and present at the Monster Factory.
Awesome. Yo, phenomenal. Listen, Derrick came on and he schooled me about, the history of the Monster Factory. And that's out of Jersey, right?
Yes, Paulsboro, New Jersey, exit 18. You can't miss it.
That's my home,
come
man.
out there, yeah, man. Go to Paulsboro, New Jersey. We were supposed to have had a show on Saturday, but unfortunately got canceled due to the snowstorm. So we resume. We are back in business the second Saturday in February. So if you haven't, go on to monsterfactory.org. You can order your tickets for our next show.
There you go get them tickets, y'all. That's as you can hear, man. One thing you forget, wrestling is not just WWE. Like, it's easy to get lost in that because you see it so often. That's the biggest name. You see it on since I was a kid. That's all I saw with WWE and WCW. You forget there's a lot of talent that's out there wrestling all over, man. In gymnasium, that's where these guys get their starts.
That's the life, but that's the life, blood of the business. You know what I mean? Like I've been following. I mean, ever since I'm a little older. I started watching wrestling in the early 80s, about 82. I started watching wrestling. And then when I got old enough, about 8 or 9 years old, I started, not only was I reading WWF magazine, but I was also reading PWI magazine, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, as we like to call the Bill Apter magazines. Bill Apter, the legendary Bill Apter, he was one of the photographers and editors for those independent magazines. But I got to know a lot of the promotions, not only in the United States, but also around the world. I learned about All Japan. I learned about New Japan Pro Wrestling and getting to know some of the names over there. When I learned about Continental Wrestling Federation down in Alabama, in that area there, learning about, the AWA, learning about wrestlers in the Pacific Northwest, understanding the wrestlers that were coming out, that were wrestling independently, wrestlers that were wrestling in Florida. So there was more. So I understood at a very, very young age that there was more than just the mainstream of the stuff that you saw on TV. You know what I mean, in the 80s. And I just followed every aspect of pro wrestling that I possibly could. And then once the internet came around, it was just like, it was gangbusters from there, because I was able to follow everything, read results from shows from Connecticut to Jersey to everywhere. And that's when you really started to hear about the independent guys. And I'll shout out guys like Reckless Youth, Tom Carter. He's an unsung hero in independent pro wrestling. We talk about guys like Reckless Youth, Crowbar, Devin Storm. You know what I mean? Like it was so many guys, and I can list of that are really unsung heroes on the independent scene that was from back in the day.
Yeah, man, you are a fanatic, bro. And I mean, I love it too, because like you said, like I didn't have the history. Like I used to get them pro wrestling, the PWI magazines and just get them for the posters and stuff. And I was, I'm still young, man. So it was like, I didn't care about the articles and stuff too much, but I'd get them for the posters. I had all the posters all over my whole room. And it's just a phenomenal thing, man. But yeah, you didn't know about the indies too much. But like you said, the internet really brought that out. And then me moving to Georgia also kind of showed me, like, the home of like wrestling, where I was going to see like the independent show circuits and stuff like that when they'd have them around my area. And it's phenomenal, bro. Yeah.
Like also, I got to give a huge shout out to Jonathan Gresham, actually, who is the Ring of Honor World Champion right now. He's actually running a promotion in Georgia called Terminus. Okay. If you can if you can follow Jonathan Gresham on Twitter, you can go on to on Instagram, follow I believe it goes by at the John Gresham, and his wife Jordan Grace also wrestles for Impact Wrestling. Shout out to Jordan.
Very big shout out to Jordan.
But Jonathan's her husband, right, but he's running the show, like I said, in Georgia, called Terminus. And I'll look up on the social media in a little bit and I'll give you guys information. But again, the independent scene in Georgia is huge. Yeah. And I have friends down there. So we'll definitely talk about that offline for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely. Hey, I'm sorry to pause on that Jordan Grace, man. I follow her on Instagram and stuff like that. But yeah, she's a beautiful woman, man.
She's dope, man. She actually advertised one of my t-shirts a couple months ago. So she really helped me out. So I appreciate her.
Yeah, she be killing it, man. I mean, I see posts from her all the time. She's always all over. But all right, Derrick, man, I'm glad you came back on. You got to, introduce yourself, and he does a lot more, guys. So please, go follow this man. Like, he's very talented. One of the biggest things that I got from his interview that we were doing was when he put himself in the situations that he is now a part of. Like, Derrick made his success happened, yo. And now it was like a huge message. That's why I was really frustrated that we lost our interview. But it's cool, man. Everything happened for a reason. And but the message you delivered, man, was just put yourself in your own success, man. Like, you know, just from saying how you would come around the you know, the wrestling scenes and help set up the ring and, you know, do small things like, you know, carrying the equipment and things like that, whatever. You were always available. That's how you got your start on one of your I think it was a soap opera you were on. You said you did Days of Our Lives, I think it was.
No, I was actually on One Life to Live, and like I said, to give that story, it all goes back to when I did a film for absolutely free in Connecticut in 2010 when I first started acting, and I just wanted that experience. I didn't care. I footed my own bill. I paid on my own dime. I got my own hotel the night before. You know, I was helping move stuff in, everything, and I worked. And one of the women that was on production of that, she ended up being on production for Are We There in the studio, because it was all in the same studio. So it was Are We There Yet? That the show that Ice Cube directed.
Yep.
The One Life to Live and All My Children. And I think they had some roles for some featured stuff for One Life to Live. And she just told me randomly one day, and I wasn't even expecting it. She was like, "Hey, send me your headshot and resume and your reel." And she forwarded to the casting director, and the casting director was like, "Where's he live?" And she was like, "Delaware." She was like, "Well, how's he going to get up here?" And she said, "Well, this guy actually did a movie for free a few years ago." And there's like, "Oh, wow. Yeah, then he clearly wants to do this." So
exactly.
And that's what kind of, and again, to let it be known, it's about who knows you, but who's willing to say they know you. Yeah. And it's all about how you treat people and get that back turned to you.
Yeah, it was an awesome message, man. You just kind of like lumped it up right there. Like, exactly. You gotta put yourself out there, man. You can't be scared to put yourself out there. You can't be scared to take risks.
Not at all.
Yeah. It was a great message. But hey, Derrick, so I know we came here today, we discussed this when we were doing that interview, and we said we wanted to do this right here. Yeah, and let's talk about what just happened with the Royal Rumble, man. 2022, man. Isn't it crazy? It's 2022. The Royal Rumble. This was the the Royal Rumble started in, I think it was 88. Is that what
88? This was the third. This was the 30. This was the 35th Royal Rumble. The very first Royal Rumble was on a USA Network special. Actually, I actually watched it, and they were doing the highlight of that was the Andre Hogan contract signing for the Friday night main event match that they had, where Hogan got screwed out of the title. They were doing the contract signing of that on the Royal Rumble, and I think it also featured the WWF Women's Tag Team Championship match between the Glamour Girls and the Jumping Bomb Angels from Japan, who I was a huge fan of back then. And that was a part of the Royal Rumble.
Derrick,
and it was won. It was won by, in the very first Royal Rumble was won by the one and only Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Listen, Hacksaw's my boy, man. I follow him on big ups to Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I actually hit him up, man. I expressed my love for him, man. I would love to have Hacksaw come on the show and talk about his experience. One of the just truest characters of the industry, man. I was on a Reddit post, and somebody was like, "Hey, can you guys name one guy who was always a face, like never turned heel and everything like that?" And the first name I thought of in my head, Hacksaw Jim. I don't know if he ever turned heel.
He was a heel. Actually, he was a heel. He was a heel in Mid-South Wrestling. Actually, he was known as just Big Jim Duggan. And, and then there was a brief heel turn in 2000 when he was representing Team Canada. Actually,
oh really? Okay.
Yeah, it was a minor heel run he had, but in his as far as his WWF run was concerned, he was always a baby face. There's only a few wrestlers, believe it or not, there's only been a few wrestlers that were just a baby face their entire career. One of them off the top of my head was Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. He was always old. I'm talking about from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. He was a clear white meat baby face, and he never switched. You know what I mean? He was a really good. Yeah.
Hey, Derrick, man, you gonna put my ass to shame, bro, because you know some wrestling, bro. I love it, man. I love it. We can do this every pay-per-view. I don't care. But so that's where Royal Rumble started. I remember Hacksaw won the first one, and he won the title with that one, didn't he?
No, there was no title. There was no title. It was just a feature thing. Because sometimes what they did And shout out to the Podfather Conrad Thompson. He has a show with Bruce Pritchard called Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard on Fridays.
Yeah,
and Bruce obviously was at the hip event, and that Bruce is actually back with WWE now. But they had tested the Royal Rumble in some cities at house shows just to see how it would how the crowd would receive
the reaction,
it. And this was mind you, this was the brainchild of the late great Pat Patterson.
Yep.
Because he was the one that had got the idea to Vince, and Vince was like, "No, what the heck is this?" And then what happened is that they were coming up with this special because of the contract signing, and they were trying to. And Dick Ebersol, who was the executive for NBC, he was the one when they did Saturday Night's Main Event. He was the one that was basically Vince's right hand man because of NBC. Gotcha. And USA is a subsidiary of NBC. So what happened is they were trying to come up with something, and Vince was like, "Tell him that stupid idea you had," and he was like, "It's not a stupid idea, Vince." And he told him about the idea, the concept of the Royal Rumble. You start off with 2, and every 2 minutes. And Dick Ebersol was like, "So it's basically a legal run-in." So he was like, "Yeah, that'd be great." And that was the birth of the Royal Rumble, and thus it's created a life and an entity of its own. It's one of my favorite events of the year, because
my favorite,
and it's evolved into something to where you don't know who's coming out. It might be a legend, it might be a surprise, it could be someone that's been on injury that you've totally completely forgotten about. And I'll talk about the 2008 Rumble because I was there, and I'll talk about that in a second. But that idea is you don't know who's coming out.
Yeah,
and that's the beauty of it. So
anticipation,
everyone's counting down. So big ups to Pat Patterson for coming up with that stupid idea, and now it's 35 years later. It's great.
Vince over there knocking some shit, without letting it happen. But like you just said, man, you giving history lessons, bro. I wasn't even expecting it, but the Royal Rumble that just passed, 2022 Royal Rumble. All right, so we're gonna talk about it a little bit, man. Let's get some thoughts. Let's get some flat out thoughts first. I'll go first because
well, it's your show. I mean,
I'll go first because I want to have see how much nice stuff I can say. This is what I thought, and as a collective, and then we'll break it down. I wasn't feeling it, man. I wasn't feeling it. Let me say this too. I got to start with saying this. I did miss probably the best match on the card. I came in right at the end, and so I saw the final, the Roman Reigns and the Seth Rollins match. Peacock does not allow you. I don't know. Maybe if you need like the
that's just something that you watch it live.
Yeah, bro.
And that's the contract they signed with them. So
I got out of work, and I thought I just knew in my head I was gonna be able to make some food real quick, and then put the wrestling on and started from the scratch. I stayed off social media all day because I didn't want to see any spoilers, man. And I came home and it started, and I tried to rewind it, and I couldn't rewind it, and I was like, damn. So I missed that match, but I was able to catch all the rest of it, and I saw what happened, with Seth Rollins and everything. But I heard that was like the best one, and then you got into Rumble matches, and you got into the women's matches. But I don't know, man. Like you said, I look forward to the Royal Rumble every year because it's a fun event. To see the different characters and everybody come back, and also just to see the new development, where they're going. It's the beginning of the year. You want to see who's going to be next in line, or who's going to get pushed, who's going to get a new position, whatever you want to call it.
For sure.
And that's why I love it, man. I love the build to WrestleMania. So. With this one, I just really feel like they didn't do that, man. I feel like they had a couple focal points, and they didn't take advantage of what the Royal Rumble should be taking advantage of in this stage. And that's just how I feel. I mean, I'll break it down later, but I got to give it a thumbs down, man. I was not liking it, yo.
Okay, so if I may, first off, the storytelling in the Roman Seth match was impeccable, because Roman comes out first, mind you.
Yeah.
Roman came out first, and then the Shield music hit, and Rollins comes through the crowd.
Yeah, I heard.
You know what I mean? Because kind of Seth is kind of being this Joker type character, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And They did something that caught me off guard, is that they actually had the finish as a disqualification. They barely do that to finish, and I'm just like, I need more count out finishes. Because I don't have to give the people a pinfall. I don't have to give them a submission.
You mean in WWE? Oh, Derrick, I don't know, man. Damn, I thought WWE is known for that shit.
No, it's like now. No. I mean, I'm talking about on paper, on a major championship match like that.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. There. In a major world championship match like that, you know what I mean? So they did that, and I'm just like, okay. So I said, okay. First, here's what my thought was: if Roman lost, then Roman was going to enter the Rumble, and he was going to win it, and then challenge whoever, you know what I mean, Brock or whatever. Because I thought, okay, Roman lost, maybe Brock. But then when I saw where Roman got DQ'd but held onto the title, which was pure genius, because the way he hit Seth Rollins in the back with the chair was the exact same way that Seth did it to him in 2014. And even the way he fell on the ropes, it was, somebody has spliced the footage of both the 2014 footage and the footage from Saturday night. And I'm just like, oh, that was perfect storytelling. And I'm just like, because I could tell that the fans are starting to cheer Roman, and now he's like, no, you're going to continue to boo me. So that was that match. That was the opening match. And then you go to the second match was actually the women's Royal Rumble.
Oh, okay, so you jumping right into it. You want to start just breaking it down. All right, cool. All right, let's go tip for tat then. All right, so we'll do it like that. You gave your part on the Roman, what's it called? I guess I'll give my part, and then we'll just kind of go like that back.
Yeah, it's fine.
We never did this before. This is fun. I love this shit. So Roman and Seth. What I got from it, because I was able to watch. I do my recaps. I watch Simon Miller and ups and downs and stuff like that. Kind of pick up on what I missed. But I do think the Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns thing, I thought that was phenomenal from the beginning. I loved it. My pick for who should dethrone Roman Reigns was Seth Rollins. I said that way before, but back when he was fighting Cesaro. I was like, I can see them building something with Seth and Roman and putting them all the way to WrestleMania and letting Seth finally take that belt from Roman. And I thought that's how it was going to go. So when they announced that he was fighting that Royal Rumble, I thought that was going to be it. I thought he was going to take it. But then when they started introducing all the Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman stuff, I kind of was like, all right, they're going to do the Roman Reigns shit with Brock Lesnar again and again and again.
Right.
And it's just like, it was just like, we've seen it. We've even seen Seth Rollins, with the Money in the Bank. It's like, how far is that going back? That's almost what?
That's 2015. Years? That was 2015.
Bro,
when he cashed in at WrestleMania 31. Yeah.
And I'm just like, first of all, these are the same three guys, We're 7 years later, and we're dealing with the same three names in the damn main event picture of WrestleMania. And so I'm trying to give it a benefit of a doubt, and I want Seth. I think Seth's character is phenomenal. Whether you boo him or cheer him, I think he's in a perfect position to where he can play that Joker character, and the fans would get behind him and ride him to the moon, and he could just keep being an asshole, and it would work. It wouldn't even matter. He didn't have to play to the crowd or anything. I think he could just do it. Yeah, so
you're right.
I was down with Seth and Roman, man. I love how they're doing the back and forth. What I think is going to happen now is, of course, at the Elimination Chamber that's in Saudi Arabia, it's going to be Seth and Roman again, and he's definitely not going to win. Either Brock Lesnar's going to jump in, or it's going to be something like that, because they got to have one more match there before they hit Mania. And then I think that's where Brock's probably going to get his revenge or whatever, and then then they're going to be going on the road to that. But that's my pick for that. That's my opinion on it, or whatever. Yeah. But so next we got, after that, we did, like you said, we had the women's wrestling, the women's Royal Rumble match, which I gotta be real, I look forward to every year now, man. I honestly look forward to the women's Royal Rumble a little bit more than I look forward to the men's Royal Rumble.
Same here.
Not gonna lie.
The women's Rumble I thought was much better produced, because I heard Molly Holly was the one that actually produced last night's women's Rumble. She actually produced the match.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? And she was.
Oh, my bad. I was gonna jump the gun and say she did that spot where Nikki
ASH, yeah.
Took her.
That was a nice piece of business though, because it was almost like the past meeting the present. You know what I mean? As far as the superhero stuff, which I thought was was clever in the sense of story. You know, it's like, okay, you're meeting the past, you're meeting the present now.
Exactly.
Like Sasha Banks drew number 1,
Yeah.
and Melina had drew number 2, and it was nice. Melina hadn't been there since 2010, 2011. That was the last time Melina's been gone a long time.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, Melina, because Melina had popped up. She was doing indies, and then I think she popped up at the NWA about 2 years ago.
Okay.
Shout out to Billy Corrigan. Doing this thing with running the NWA. I think they're doing a tremendous job with NWA Power. You can see on YouTube every Tuesday, 6:05 Eastern time.
So watch, so it'll be like watch them and then watch the Beeline. All right, 9 p.m. That's right.
There you go.
But
right.
Hey, yeah, because wasn't Melina? Didn't she jump into Lucha Underground for a minute too?
Yeah, she was in Lucha Underground, and again, speaking of Lucha Underground, shout out to Cortez Castro, aka Ricky Reyes, who just left the Monster Factory as a trainer. He's down in Texas, moved his family down to San Antonio, Texas. So shout out to Ricky Reyes, Cortez Castro, who was on Lucha Underground. Yeah, they were on there, and like I said, it was good to see her back in there, do her entrance and everything.
Yeah.
And then number 3 was Tamina, number 4 was Kelly Kelly, number 5 was Aaliyah, number 6 was Liv Morgan, number 7 was Zelina Vega, number 8 was Bianca Belair. Number 9 was Dana Brooke. Number 10 was Michelle McCool. Number 11 was one of my really good friends outside of wrestling, actually. Sonya Deville.
Let's pause right there. Wait a second. You know Sonya Deville?
Yeah, I've known Daria now since 2012. Actually, we did we were doing a TV show pilot with this producer Mackinson Lewis out of Long Island called Comedy Joyride. Gotcha. And me and her met at a production meeting in Brooklyn. And her and I started talking MMA, and she had talked about like how she had just moved back up here because she was living in Jersey, back in Jersey, because she had moved to Florida to train in MMA and stuff like that. And then I ended up driving her to the train station like 2 hours south, and got to know each other, and swap numbers, and we just been really cool ever since. And I remember because she had moved to California to go. She was actually fighting. She was doing MMA, and she was 2-1. That was her MMA record. And I was, anytime she had a fight, I was always posting her stuff.
Gotcha.
And when the Tough Enough deal happened in 2015 is when she sent in for it. And I was like, oh my God, I was so excited for her. And she ended up not winning that, but she ended up training. And then she signed a developmental deal with, at the PC. And, and I went to a NXT house show in 2017 in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And I got to see her wrestle, which was like it was awesome for me to see.
Yo, she's good, man. I was even saying that when they first brought them out, when it was that whole Absolution thing when Paige brought her and Mandy Rose out. Yeah. And she was kind of slept on, you know what I mean? Because it was like she was like the tough girl, and she had like the fighting background. And then Paige was like the loud one and like the leader. Yeah. And then Mandy Rose was like the looker, the blonde and stuff like that or whatever. For sure. But I feel like Sonya was a little underlooked. But she's a phenomenal wrestler, man. She's a really good athlete.
She's an amazing First of all, she's a great athlete. I mean,
she's
someone that knows her, someone knows her well. I mean, like I said, she's really coming to her own as an on-screen character in doing the character development. As far as
I like that general manager role she plays.
Yeah,
she plays
I think that's her character that's the character in the WWE 2K22 game actually too. So shout out to
for that, yo.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
And then, but getting back to the Rumble. Number 12 was Natalya. Number 13 was the returning Cameron, who was a former tag team partner of Naomi. Of course, Naomi was number 14. That was a nice little piece of business there.
We're going to talk about it. Go ahead, run through the list, and then we're going to talk about it.
And then Carmella, number 15. Number 16 was Rhea Ripley. Number 17, Charlotte Flair. Number 18, the returning Hall of Famer, Ivory. Number 19, Hall of Famer, Brie Bella. Number 20, the Impact Knockouts World Champion, Mickie James.
Yes.
Alicia Fox, number 21. Number 22, Nikki ASH. Number 23, Summer Rae. Number 24, Nikki Bella. Number 25, Sarah Logan. Number 26, Lita. Number 27, Mighty Molly. Number 28, the returning Ronda Rousey. Number 29, Shotzi. And number 30 was Shayna Baszler.
Yes. All right, let me ask you this quick, Derrick. Who was your pick before we found out who won. Who did you think was going to take it?
I was actually thinking that Bayley was going to return last night and win the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I thought Bayley was going to return last night too. I didn't think she was going to win, but I thought she was going to return. I wanted her to return. Bayley's one of my favorites, man. I love her. Yeah.
No, but I thought she was going to return. But then my second pick was going to be Sasha Banks, but then she got eliminated pretty early. I'm like, oh wow,
wasn't that crazy? I wasn't even when she first came down. It was funny because me and IT Tip was watching it, and I was like, she had like the crazy Sailor Moon outfit. It looked awesome.
She's a huge Sailor Moon fan, by the way.
Yeah, big one. Yeah, I heard. She had the hair and she had the long extensions. And I'm saying to myself, I was like, okay, Sasha started at number 1. They're probably going to have her break like a record. I didn't think she was going to win it so much, but I thought they was going to have her be in there from like the longest time of the women's, just to give her something to talk about. But when she got eliminated, as fast as she did by who she got eliminated by, I was like, oh my, like I didn't see that coming at all, man. But it was still interesting, but she had those long hair extensions. I thought she was gonna be fighting with that the whole night. I'm like, man, she's gonna be uncomfortable fighting with her hair like that. But
I really didn't know, and it was just like, wow, she got eliminated because I thought she was gonna last a while, but apparently that's not the case.
Yeah, I thought my prediction was I thought they was gonna give it to Shayna Baszler. I thought that they were kind of building it up, especially after the interaction with her and Charlotte on SmackDown. I thought they were going to try to give her. I was also trying to think of like who is in a position to kind of step up to the plate. You know what I mean? Like we were talking about earlier. Like there's a lot of reoccurring, There's a lot of reoccurring. There's a tremendous amount of talent, but they need the next. I think that was we're going to talk about it too when we get to the men's more than anything.
Yeah, for sure.
But they need the next, we see these amazing characters, the 4 horsewomen, and then we saw Ronda come back and Ronda is a legend in her own right for UFC and everything like that. But I'm still interested in who's WWE, man. Who's Lita? You know what I mean? Who's Trish Stratus? Who's Mickie James? Like I want to see these people that are getting built, these new people that are getting built and having the big light like they had. You know what I mean?
But here's the problem they ran into. They let a lot of their roster go. So that's why they had to call back Mickie James. I'm pretty sure they cost them a pretty penny. Let's keep it a stack.
They called a bunch of people. Yeah, I heard.
And I mean,
a lot of people denied.
And the fact that they had to acknowledge her as the Impact Knockouts World Champion. That was a part of the deal. You know what I mean? And it's like, wow. But at the same time, it's like, that's what happens when you get rid of half your roster is like, oh, wow, we don't have anybody for the Royal Rumble. Oh, wow, we have 100,000. Think about it. WrestleMania, they have to sell. They're banking on selling 200,000 tickets because they're doing 2 nights. Yeah. That place seats 100,000 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
WrestleMania is huge though, man. I don't think they even worry about that shit at all anymore. I mean, I'm not saying that people don't buy tickets and stuff, but I think WrestleMania is at a point where it's like the Super Bowl, man. Like if you're a wrestling fan, or even if you're not a wrestling fan, like you want to go to WrestleMania. Like it's an established event. I don't think they got a problem selling tickets, but I do know what you're talking about. Like I think WWE's biggest thing, man, is, and when you think about it, it happened naturally before. They were building people. They were putting people into the realm that they wanted them to be in, whether it be The Rock, whether it be Stone Cold, whether it be The Undertaker, with the storyline, with the wins and losses, with all of that. Everything factored into why you like this person, why when their music hit, people lost their damn minds. Like that made you want to watch every week. Like that made you want to stay entertained, buy their merch, all of that stuff. Right. It just feels like now they're trying to control so much of the product that it's not organic. It's not like a natural sense. They're trying to guide you into what they want you to like so they can sell what they want to sell or what. That's how I feel, watching the event at this point. And it's just not anybody that you can just like and enjoy because you like to enjoy them, not because WWE is pushing them down your throat, man. They did it with Roman, they did it with Cena, they did it with almost like, everybody that's an established name. But it was interesting, man. I did love the Royal Rumble match with the women. Like you were saying about Sonya, when Cameron came, I couldn't believe that they got rid of Cameron before Naomi even got. I thought they were gonna have like a.
Well, no, it was,
together.
but at the same time, no. If you're looking at it from a story perspective, mind you, the night
Yep.
before, Sonya just got beat by Naomi,
Yeah.
and when they were talking about, they were like, "Hey, do you know who Cameron is?" And they're like, "She's like, no." It's like, "That's Naomi's best friend." She's like, "Oh, really? That's her best friend? Oh, I'm gonna go in the ring. I'm gonna beat her." And I was like, "Oh, that was a great, nice piece of business," because like, okay, it's almost the continuity with story. It made sense for her to do that, hurt her, throw her friend out, and then Naomi comes out at number 14, and then there you go. And then of course, what happened maybe 10 or 15 minutes down the line, Sonya's still at ringside, and she ends up like dragging her out of the ring when she was trying to do the whole trick and stuff. So, but no, I'm huge. But I hope that they continue that, and I hope that Sonya and Naomi get a chance to wrestle at WrestleMania, have a one-on-one match. They deserve to have that spot in that match for WrestleMania for sure.
Yeah. I think that would be good. It is a good story. It was a little drug out. I think it was a little bit. That's what a lot of people were, saying. It was a little drug out. It was like, okay, what's going to cultivate from this already? Is it like every week, she just screwing Naomi, and Naomi kind of looks like kind of a sucker. Like, oh man, I got to just deal. But
it's no different. But it was no different when Vince was doing it to Stone Cold Steve Austin every week. And I understand that the heel authoritative figure, that storyline, that ideology of that thought has been drug out by every wrestling company, and I get it. But the fact that you have a woman that's a heel doing it, you know what I mean? That's actually a wrestler. And then you have it, you know what I mean? So I think, and you have a likable character like Naomi. She's very well liked by everybody.
Love Naomi.
I just think that, and I think that it's put in the spotlight that all the women's matches shouldn't be about the title. You should have a lot of these storylines that are underneath. And I think if you have more of that, that's going to get the fans to care more about story and everything. And that's why I thought I enjoyed that piece of business, because I saw it come as a Cameron. I said, I think Derrick's going to get in the ring and try to do it. And that's exactly how it played out. So I was very satisfied with that. But
I think like you just said, I think a lot of those guys came back, and I believe there's a huge payday for them to come in there and just have their little 5 seconds. Like Summer Rae got thrown out, and like she was in the ring for like 35 seconds, and then Natalya threw out. And there was a lot of people, like even Melina, like she got in there, did her splits and stuff, and then came and went. Like, but I guess it was just some things. Maybe it's just like off my own fandom or whatever. Like I just wanted to see more, whatever. But I wanted Cameron to have a little thing. I heard, I think that's what this Royal Rumble was just missing for me, man. It wasn't enough of that kind of just nostalgic feel to it, like how the other ones would go, or whether it be like the Godfather coming out, or Diesel, and all these guys that you see, and they'll come out and they'll have a little, their little spot in the thing, and then they're not gonna win it. But it's just entertaining, man. I feel like they had some opportunities to make a little bit more memorable, and they kind of just passed on it. I definitely agree with you, like with the whole Sonya. I get it. I get the storyline and everything. It was done well, but I just wish that it was like, oh, Naomi and Funkadazzle's back. Maybe do a little dance, or I don't know, just like something like just to bring you back that nostalgic kind of moment or whatever.
I was actually at Royal Rumble 2000 at the Garden, where Too Cool actually broke down and did the dance in the middle of the ring.
And
I thought that was, oh man, that was funny.
It. Yeah,
I was there for that one. That was pretty.
They
dope.
were cool with it. They were like,
I
love that. I love that they didn't make it like extra, like
no, not at all.
Yeah, Rikishi, man. Ooh, that was my deal. I love Too Cool, man.
Yeah, they were over.
Yeah, they were really over. But look how you just said that, man. Too Cool. Like, they weren't Stone Cold and heavyweight title picture. They were just somebody you can get behind. They were a fun character, and it was just they were fun.
Everybody was over. Everybody in the Attitude Era, like everybody was over. Everybody has something to do on TV, regardless. You know what I mean? I just think that they're going to give you the storylines that they care about, that they want you to care about, and that's it. I mean, and I'm not going to tell Vince McMahon how to run his business. Clearly, he just signed another $1 billion deal with Disney to have the network put on Disney Plus in Indonesia.
Oh, damn. That's what he was signing? Okay, I heard the Disney thing. I didn't know that's what it was for, though. Yeah.
So trust me. So think about it. He has 4 $1 billion deals, 2 with NBC because of the extension with USA, and the other one with Peacock. You got Fox, and then you got Disney. Then you got the Disney deal. So
Yeah.
I think he's doing okay.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
for people to go on social media and say, "Oh, the WWE is, they're not making money," and I'm like, dude,
yeah, you should never say that.
If
Counting
you ever
Jefferson,
listen
you
to
don't
any
know.
of their investor calls or whatever the case may be, you'll see the net profits that they're making. It's insane. You know what I mean? So, but at the same time, as we as fans, of course, we want what we want. But I think at the end of the day, there's more casual fans than there are hardcore fans. And that's why I think they're gearing their product towards casual viewers. Because guess what? When it's time for a house show to come to Peoria, Illinois, guess what? They want mommy and daddy to bring a little Johnny, a little Jimmy to the show. Get them front row seats, and they can see, whoever, what they want to see, and that type of thing. And they're going to tune in to SmackDown. They're going to tune in to Raw. They're going to order WrestleMania every year, and they're going to go away. But that's the casual fan. There's more casual. Think about it. There are more casual fans in most sports and entertainment entities than you realize, because they care about that consumer base more than the hardcore consumer base. We're a lot smaller than what we think.
Yeah, but at the same time, man, I think being true to the product is important too, man. I mean, like I get what you're saying. I mean, you're basically saying the it's best for business shit, like
well, I mean, but you know what? But here's the thing.
You're right.
Me being involved in wrestling, and even on the independent level, it opened my eyes to really see the why.
Yeah,
they do certain things a certain way. And I explain this to a lot of people. I'm like, listen, man, you may not like it, you may not agree with it, but at the end of the day, they have to ultimately choose what their bottom line is. Yeah. And if they have to go in this direction because of business, then they're going to have to do that because of business. That's just the way it is. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's the NBA or the NFL or the Major League Baseball, the National Hockey League, doesn't matter. They have to do ultimately what's best for business. The UFC is falling into the same trap. They don't give a damn about their rankings anymore. No, they care about who's going to fill those damn seats every 18 inches. That's the name of the game. If you put asses in seats,
there.
Yeah, if you put asses in seats, it's all at this point that they're concerned about. Filling those seats, making them getting those subscriptions up, and that's the end of it. You know what I mean? So there you have it. As much as we want, certain things to go our way, there's more casual fans than there are the real hardcore fan. It is. It's very, very true.
It makes sense. It definitely makes sense. I mean, it's just, yeah. I mean, like you said, we grew up in a different time where it was like, I guess wrestling was more like, it was loved for the industry.
What it was.
Like it was love for.
It was love for what it was. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't a corporate entity, and I think unfortunately, that's when something becomes corporate, you have to adhere to whatever it is that they're doing. So you have to kind of just live with it and just enjoy. And I tell people all the time, you can either watch it or you don't. But guess what? You're gonna watch.
And I said all be
yeah. No. You got people. I'm not going to watch it anymore. I'm not going to watch it anymore. I'm going to take my ball and go home. No, you're going to you want to get your ass on Monday. You're going to turn on at 8:00 Eastern time. You're going to turn on USA. Monday. And you're going to every Monday. You're going to watch every Friday. You're going to watch NXT. You're going to order. They got you hook, line, and sinker. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, they do. But and you know what? That's the best point, man. I mean, and for that, right? I have the right to be vocal about the shit.
Right, for sure.
But it's like, but at the same time, I mean, you're absolutely right, man. Like I said, wrestling is a love of mine, man. I love it, right? Whether I agree with or disagree with or whatever, that's one of the fun parts about it. You know what I'm saying? Just like sports, sure. You see your football team sucking ass. You don't change your team. You wish they did better.
Ride with them. Yeah, absolutely, exactly. Man.
But yeah, man, great point, man. You're dropping knowledge, bro. You're a wrestling fucking savant.
We're gonna move on to the next match now. So Ronda Rousey ends up winning the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
And from what I've read, and I mean, I take the dirt sheets with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Especially you, Dave Meltzer. I was reading something where they're planning on having Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania.
That's what I heard too. I just heard that today, and I don't understand that very well because I definitely thought I just knew that when she came back, it was going to be her and Becky. And I thought that was what they were building before they both left. They were building towards her and Becky. That was like the super match. And I thought, and it's also the most obvious match on the table right now, because you could literally take Charlotte and put her up against anybody at this point.
Yeah, but I think they want to do that piece of business with the redemption for Bianca Belair too.
That's
You know what I mean?
Same shit though. Like, do the damn Ronda and Becky. That's gonna be phenomenal. Just the build for that's gonna be phenomenal. And then you could take Charlotte. And
but remember I was telling you about business. Remember,
yeah.
Fox wants Ronda Rousey on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Who is the SmackDown Women's Champion right now?
Yeah,
Charlotte Flair. So now,
yeah, you're right, bro.
Business. It's as simple as that.
I heard that same thing. Yeah, I heard Charlotte and Ronda's gonna go at it. I was definitely surprised by it. I mean,
so that'll probably be night one, and then Brock and Roman will be night two. I can totally see that becoming a thing. But that takes care of the women's rumble. Like I said, I thought one of the highlights was Ivory coming out to the right to censor music on the microphone. You know what? Fun. If they were to bring her back right now, she will be the biggest heel on television.
And probably build up somebody, because she would be a manager and she would stand in somebody's corner and she can just do the right to censor gimmick. And the person that's with her wouldn't even need the right to censor gimmick. Just Ivory would be able to do it and pull it off and elevate a character.
And Ivory's a great mouthpiece. You know what I mean? She still has the gift of gab, and I think you put her with somebody.
Yeah, I think she'd be phenomenal.
And have like a militant like women's group. Oh, that'll be great. Yeah, I would love it.
Yeah,
I would absolutely
love it. She stole the show in a way, man. Because when she came out, like you said, she came out and she was talking shit. She worked her way down. The classic. She did exactly how she was doing it back in the day. It was great. I loved that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So well, moving on to the Becky Doudrop match. I feel bad for these two for the obvious reason. I don't know if you knew, but the WrestleMania sign caught on fire after the Ronda Rousey pyro. So they had to move that entire section out of the way, because I had there were some people that I knew that were actually at the Royal Rumble. Shout out to my Twitter friends, Cher Delaware, NYC Demon Diva, who was at the Royal Rumble in St. Louis last night. But they were tweeting about the fact that they had to bring the sign down so they could put the fire out, so they could fix the sign and then put it back up. So that entire section on the floor had to move, literally.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, and that distracted the match. That kind of took eyes off of the match with Doudrop and Becky, and they had to work extra hard to keep the fans' attention span. But everyone was looking at what was going on the other side. You know what I mean?
And I didn't know when it was happening either.
Yeah, I knew. I found out. I knew what was going on when I was on Twitter. I had people were tweeting about it. I'm like, oh my God. But that's what happened. And it was just one of those deals. I know Becky took one bump, not a bump, but she took where Doudrop did a drop on her. I was like, oh my God, I thought she crushed her. But
did you pay attention to that too? Because it seemed like I'm always trying to watch and see, like, oh damn, they just kind of got real for a second. Because right when Becky was slapping her and stuff like that, like Doudrop was on the ground. Wait. We gotta pause this real quick. First off, I have to say this. I haven't said this on TV yet. Listen, I don't know, maybe you have a different opinion about this or whatever. Doudrop. Doudrop got her name when Eva Marie brought her in, and she was like Eva Marie's muscle or whatever.
Right.
And she was like basically like, oh, whatever, you don't matter enough for me to give you a name, so you're Doudrop. Now, when her and Eva Marie split, like pretty much instantly, I just knew that she was gonna say, Mike, I ain't no damn Doudrop. I am Piper,
Piper Niven, right?
Yeah. I just knew that was gonna happen. The fact that this woman came out to a title shot last night on Royal Rumble, and her song says, Doudrop. I don't understand what the hell is going on. Why are they letting her keep this damn persona, man? I just don't know. And knowing stuff about Vince McMahon, you know, being a fan of this thing and knowing his humor that from stuff that I've heard, like I wonder, is that just like a funny thing that he does, or is that something that he's got? But I have no idea how they can think that that's a good promotion thing for her. The song says "do drop."
Man.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, like she's a damn good wrestler.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
she was
incredible.
she's again worked her ass off on the indies for years, you know, to get to where she is now. So you know,
she's
I'm hoping at some point, you know, they'll definitely be able to do, you know, to kind of switch that around.
Do you feel me though? Like, how the hell is it still like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's at the point where it's like, you know, and you can't. The fact is, like you were just saying before, it's business. So you're starting to get marketing, you know, stuff. You got shirts with Dewdrop on it. You got things. You got people knowing you as Dewdrop. How far are you going to get before you can't even really change it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they should have knocked that shit out immediately.
True.
But yeah, that it's just kind of seems disrespectful, man. I'm like, look at this phenomenal. I don't know, but I feel like she's gotta hate that shit. Like, I can't imagine her. But you know, I love Dewdrop. I always want to be called out.
Well, you know what though? I'll put it to you this way: it's almost like it's the Dusty Rhodes polka dot doctrine, right? He came out there in polka dots, and Dusty said it. He's like, you know what? I'm going to get it over. He got.
I didn't even know they made him do that. I thought that was.
Oh yeah. No,
I didn't know that.
Because when Dusty came to the WWE, because mind you, I had been watching Dusty Rhodes when he was in the NWA in Crockett. I was watching Dusty back then. And when he came to the WWF in '89, I'm like, okay. And he was wearing his classic black trunks with the DR on the side.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, he's coming out with yellow polka dots. And I'm like,
I thought that was just this thing. I didn't know that.
But no. And Vince, Bruce Pritchard literally was like, yeah, he was like, I see him with yellow polka dots. And you know what though? Dusty got it over. Yeah. And he was like, my bank wasn't complaining about it, you know, as far as this, he was getting the check. You know what I mean? Money. And it's funny because around that time in '89, you had Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, Barry Windham, and Dusty Rhodes in the WWF. And JJ Dillon was actually there too, but he was working behind the scenes as talent relations.
Got you.
So you had three of the four horsemen in the WWF.
Yeah, that's crazy. And Ric Flair was what, still NWA?
He was still in NWA. NWA.
It wasn't I don't. When you say it, it sounds wrong because of you know.
Yeah, but now he was in the NWA WCW, but he was there, and because he almost was supposed. And we'll get back on the road in a second, but
yeah, Flair
when Anderson and Blanchard came to the WWF in '88, Flair was supposed to go then.
Oh, okay.
He was going to get into a feud with Randy Savage right away. They were going to put him in the title picture, but Flair was so loyal to the company that he stuck it out. But he was the original plans that he was supposed to come to the WWF in 1988. That would have been crazy if they would have had Flair, man.
And I love that version of Macho too, man. That version of the '88 Macho Man in WWF, man, I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
With him with the ref, get him back there, put him over there. And he pulled out the ring. Oh, that was phenomenal. Yeah, just that little stuff like that just made characters so over, man. But so like we were saying about the Dewdrop match, when she did that damn splash, literally she jumped in the air and her whole, like the first time she did it, you saw where her back landed on the mat first, where it looked a little safer.
Right, yeah.
But she crushed Becky ass, man.
Yeah, I was like, eesh.
I think she was kind of pissed. Because Becky was smacking the shit out of her. And
but Becky ended up winning, but she ended up winning with a modified side effect off the second rope, which was a nice fit. It was a nice finish.
Because she couldn't get her. That was the whole thing. She was trying to manhandle slam her and shit, and she just couldn't pick her up. But she's a big girl. So
yeah.
But I like Piper Niven. I like her a lot. Well, Dewdrop, I'll respect it until I don't have to.
Right now, I feel you, man.
She's a beast, man. I think that she can actually, definitely do something big with WWE. You know, she took Nia Jax's place basically because there's no bigger women in WWE.
Yeah, I miss Nia.
Me too. I love Nia, man. People had their opinions about her and stuff like that. I thought she was a great character. I don't know how she was as a person or whatever. They did say she was kind of rough and she was unsafe. I guess that's what a lot of That's a lot of. I don't know if they're dirt sheets or what, but I've heard rumors.
It's a lot of. You know what? I put you this way, man. Some of the dirt sheet, I would say 96 or 97% of the dirt sheet bullshit that's out there is absolutely not true.
Not true.
I mean, there's some of the stuff that slips through that is true, but a lot of stuff that's been said about like said wrestlers or whatever the case, this is all rumor and innuendo. Gotcha. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. There's been a lot of stories that from over the years that have come to surface that was not true.
There's also been a lot that have been true though, and I think that's why it's so hard to decipher, because you get these guys who come back out on podcasts and stuff like that and tell you some shit that you didn't even really know was going on in the background. And that's what makes it so interesting now is like, we're able to find out all of this information, even from back in the day, guys that were going through things or having fights in the back or plane ride from hell. Like, it's just so many different, so much. Even when Undertaker came on and talked on Joe Rogan and was telling the stories about like, his beginnings and, what he had to go through to kind of pay respect to the industry. It's a hell of a business, man. It's physical, very demanding. Nothing but respect for these guys. But yeah, man. So we talked about Becky won that match, and I thought it was pretty good. It was a decent match. It wasn't anything spectacular, but it was a decent match. They did good. Yeah, the match actually went 13 minutes even, actually. So the match went 13 minutes. And the next match was for the WWE Championship. Bobby Lashley with MVP challenged Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman. And again, some interesting storytelling here because how much time we got, bro? Because your boy got a lot to say about this one right here.
Okay, you go ahead. The floor is yours.
All right, Derrick. Let me open this one up, man. All right, this is my thing: Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. Now, I am a UFC guy. I am a very big MMA fan. I've followed, Brock Lesnar's career since he first jumped into WWE. And I love Brock Lesnar, man. I loved him. I loved him when he went to UFC. I was a big Brock Lesnar fan. Like, oh, Brock's coming over here. He's dominating, kicking ass, doing this. Bobby Lashley, when he first came to WWE, I wasn't really feeling him. I was like, this is a big dude, big black dude. I'm like, okay, cool. What's he gonna do? He's strong. He's this and that. I kind of thought he was. I thought he was boring. I'm not gonna lie. I thought Bobby Lashley was boring when he first came. I didn't know of his MMA career. I didn't know of his highlights and the stuff that he's done and his following. But when I got to know Bobby Lashley and when he came back, for his second run in the company, I'm like, I love this guy. This guy's phenomenal. Like, he's entertaining. He's strong. You know what I'm saying? They push him well. They promote him well. I love Bobby Lashley. That's my boy. Like, I love him to death. This match was, to me, a WrestleMania main event caliber fucking Grand Slam match, bro. Two big beasts. Not only big beasts, but strong, top tier fighters, legit elite fighters with a fighting record, cauliflower ears. Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. Like, this was one for the ages, bro. You could have put this in a damn UFC ring and it would have sold out seats in minutes, man. That's how I feel. And then what happened. This was the biggest disappointment of the night for me, because I definitely feel like there was some entertaining spots, but how everything kind of collected all together to end it off, I just feel like it was a waste of such an opportunity, man. And I just feel like they really, really, really underutilized that situation. So with that being said, I'll say that, and then I'll pass it over to you and see what your thoughts are on it.
I was one of the people that was like salivating. I was like, I cannot wait to see this match, especially the video package that they did, highlighting Bobby's career. Now, mind you, I followed Bobby's career when he was fighting in Bellator, and he was beating people, and he has a far better MMA record than Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
And I also thought that Brock Lesnar got a world title shot in the UFC way too soon.
Yeah. I mean,
three fights
name, though, man.
And that's where I was telling you earlier.
And he did beat. I'm saying he did beat. He beat Frank Mir. I mean, he did beat these guys. He beat Shane. He beat Shane Carwin for the belt.
No. He remember Carbon was the interim champion while Brock was actually was sick. He came back and Brock.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, because he beat. So he beat. His first match in UFC was he fought Randy Couture. Was that his first?
No, that was
match
his third. That was his fourth fight because he beat Randy Couture for the title.
Okay, so Randy Couture's one.
He beat him for the title,
You know some dates, man. I don't know that.
Yeah, he beat him. He beat him for the title, and it was just one of those things, man. And he going in there, he was, but he almost lost the Carwin. Carwin just got gassed. That's what happened.
He choked Carwin.
He got gassed, and then he ended up losing to Cain, Velasquez. Then he got sick, and then he ended up losing to Overeem.
Yeah,
and then he came out to WWE.
Destroyed his ass. Yeah, but they said because of that stuff he had with his whatever that
diverticulitis.
Yeah. He said that.
Yeah, and also but also Overeem was also gassed. He was freaking gassed out of his mind that fight too. So they ended up getting I think Brock ended up getting a disqualification for that fight too. I think because Overeem tested positive for something after the fact. So
I never heard that.
Yeah, I think it was horse tranquilizers that he was on or something like that.
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. But that's before USADA got involved with the UFC with their drug testing. So there you have it.
Shit with them now.
Yeah, seriously. But I just thought that the video package was done very well. I thought it was very WrestleMania-esque. I thought that match should have been saved for WrestleMania, but clearly by the way the match was finished last night, they're going with other plans. I thought the Heyman Roman business I thought was clever because now was giving Brock an out now that he lost the title to get into the men's Rumble that we'll talk about later. But the part that I didn't like was Roman throwing the WWE Championship down like it was nothing.
Yeah,
that part
he was trying to play it, man.
I was trying, but I mean, but I'm just like, what are you saying about the title now? I mean, because if this is the lineage title now, this is the WWE Championship.
They kind of shit on that title too.
That's like the WWE Championship. Yeah. I feel that the title that Bruno Sammartino held for almost 10 years total, Hogan held for 4 years total at his first reign, Bob Backlund held for 5 years his first reign. You know what I mean? Randy Savage held for a year for his first reign. When you think of champions like that, and the way that he looked at it, it was like, this belt out of here. I was just like, if you're trying to crown Bobby, like you're making you're weakening you're making the title not look good. So I'm glad Bobby. I'm glad Bobby won. Yeah, I'm glad Bobby won the championship back. This makes it interesting now to see who's going to challenge for the title, going forward or at WrestleMania. How that's going to fit into the plans. I don't know if they're going to do a rematch with Drew, but Drew's on SmackDown, so
no more rematches.
That's not the case. No,
so shit, please.
If anything else, I mean, who knows? It might be Big E. Who knows? Because remember, Big E never got his rematch. You know what I mean? Because remember, do
you really want to see rematches, man? Do you want to see these people the same? Like in my head, what I was thinking, and we're gonna talk about it more, but I'm really like, I think it's time for AJ Styles to come step back up. I think AJ is ready for another title shot. I think it's something that's kind of fresh. Him and Bobby haven't really had too much of an interaction. I think it would put something on the map. I mean, and I'll go another step and I'll say, I kind of want to see Omos come up. And even though I don't think he's really ready for it, I would love to just see him in the position to where it's like, it's entertaining. It's like a big dude. He's conquering everything. Like he's really, he hasn't been stopped. And it's just kind of an opening for something fresh, man. Like, and I think,
but he still has some seasoning he needs to do. He's still relatively new. So, I'm not crapping on him at all. I think he's a great athlete, but I just think that it's just going to come with seasoning and just as far as his ring time. You know what I mean? As far as being to get the belt so soon. Now, obviously, when you're talking about a guy like Kurt Angle that won the title in his rookie year, that's just he's just a different type of athlete.
Yeah, Kurt was he took to brand right.
He took to pro wrestling like fish to water. Like when he was miles above everybody when he went
he's an Olympic wrestler though. I'm saying like it's exactly like he didn't come in from like some never been done ever before shit.
Right, but as far as learning how to take bumps and stuff like that, like he was bumping like he had been bumping for years. from the stories that's come out about it. But I just think that now, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see who's going to challenge Bobby for the championship. I don't know if Bobby's a heel or if Bobby's a babyface.
Can't tell, right?
Yeah, I don't know. See, that's
Brock
the
either.
thing about
I don't know if Brock's a heel or a face. I don't know what the hell he's trying to do.
Brock's a babyface. He's a
I don't know,
babyface.
Man.
He's a baby.
Even with how he was like the reaction, it's like he's supposed to be, but it's like Becky either. I mean, it's like they're supposed to be, but they still got like heel tendencies, man. It's like
I mean, yeah, but I mean, Becky, it's interesting because it's almost like the Steve Austin heel turn in 2001, where the fans just were not trying to hear Steve Austin as a heel. That's why it didn't work.
Yeah.
The fans did not believe that their anti-hero was a heel. That just wasn't possible. And Austin has said, and Becky's falling into that same trap. Not say trap, but I mean just in that same position of like she can probably just say the most ruthless thing and it doesn't matter because the fans still going to cheer regardless.
You love her, man.
So
you love her. She's
exactly.
Fun, she's entertaining.
Absolutely.
She fought Doudrop. Doudrop's clearly a heel. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, who was the heel and who was the babyface in that? I mean, Becky's already like, she can come out and talk shit about the town that she's in or whatever. I mean, at this point, I don't even know if it really matters. But that's another thing, like I was saying, like you made the good point about it. Like, it's just what's best for business. And then it's just, but it's also, it's like nothing can be organic, man. I get it. Like, you can't just play to wherever, when the crowd is blowing. But it is like, you kind of do got to wake up and kind of pay attention to what the atmosphere is like, or at least just acknowledge it. Like, you see the fans they ain't hearing the Becky being a heel, and it's not even really portraying that she's a heel. So it's like, are we just like going, hey, she is what she is, or is there an actual direction that they're trying to follow?
For sure. But yeah, that's pretty much that with the WWE Championship match. Again, I thought, the suplexes and the this and the that. I thought they were in there working, but it was to get everything ready for Roman versus Brock at WrestleMania. That's pretty much why everything was designed the way it was, from the Roman Championship match in early night with Seth that set up everything for the championship because Jimmy Corderas, who's a former WWF referee, shout out to Jimmy Corderas. You can see him on Ref and Rant on Twitter. He was talking about he wasn't sure how that finish with Roman and Seth, and I was just like, let's let this play out and see. And then just as sure, I'm like, okay, now we know where we're going now. It's the road to WrestleMania is very clear with Brock and Roman Reigns, now, and with Paul Heyman doing the unforgivable thing by giving Roman the belt so he can, smash him in the head with it. Now you're solidifying Roman truly as a top heel. You're not cheering this man now. You are booing this man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Where his character is. I just
absolutely
wish, like you said, I just wish that it wasn't such a phenomenal first time event, bro. Bobby versus Brock, like something that I feel like would have held its weight. Honestly, I'll be honest with you. I think that Bobby versus Brock shit would have, with the right, preparation and everything like that. I like the Brock and Roman story and everything with Paul Heyman. It's a good story. It's good content. But I just feel like that they utilized that match to build for that WrestleMania match. And I'm like, how the hell can you waste this, man? Like, it's such a great.
And who knows if they can do some business down the road, which I think is, that's anything can happen in pro wrestling, man. Sports entertainment for sure.
But yeah, that was the next.
So now we move on to the next match, which was the It couple, Miz and Maurice, versus the Grit couple, Edge and Beth Phoenix. Nice piece of business again. The spot of the night for me was Maurice doing a Hurricane Run off the top rope on Edge.
And that just the spot of the night for me was Maurice, bro. Maurice is. Listen, I've said it before, and I will say it again. My childhood crush was always I was a Trish Stratus, man. I love Trish Stratus. Trish Stratus was my crush. That was awesome. Beauty, man. Yeah. Trish and Lita, those are my babies, man. I loved them back in the day. But I see the Miz, and the Miz. I remember watching the Miz when he was the Real World guy, and he was running around saying he was the Miz. Remember that back in New York, Real World New York, and everything. And when the Miz finally got to wrestling, and you know, the Miz is a future Hall of Famer, man. Call it what it is. The Miz is amazing. I love the Miz, but he got lucky, man, because Maurice is a beauty. That is a beautiful woman, man. And she looked phenomenal last night. But yeah, she definitely stole the show. She stole the show out there.
That was a great spot. It was because everybody, you know what though? They played their hits, they get the spots, and I thought it was a well produced match. I looked at it and now a lot of times when I watch wrestling, I watch it as a student because, you know, although I'm a ring announcer, you know, I still have to understand psychology. I have to understand a lot of the things that are happening in the ring, why they're doing this or why that spot is happening. So as a student, I thought that they played their hits, they got in, played their hits, and went home. That's the name of it. Yeah, it was a fun match. And they did what is it, no one outshined the other.
No, yeah, exactly.
And they won, and they did a double glam slam, and they finished that was Beth's finish.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure they had a blast. The kids were watching, you know, so I had to go get it.
Exactly. Right.
It's just fun, man.
So I mean, that's what is, you know what though? Oh, and by the way, now we're on this topic. A huge shout out to 10 mothers on last night's pay-per-view. 10 mothers. Yes, I'm going to give you all the list right now of the 10 moms that were on last night's Royal Rumble pay-per-view. I tweeted it out last night. And quite frankly, it was monumental. Okay. The 10 moms, we had Maurice, you had Beth Phoenix, you had Nikki Bella, you had Brie Bella, Michelle McCool, Ronda Rousey, Tamina Snuka, Mickie James, Sarah Logan, Becky Lynch.
Damn,
10 moms. Right. Yeah. 10 moms that's on awesome, that pay-per-view. Man. That's so huge shout out to all those moms that were on that pay-per-view. And really going to show you that they're, you know, hey, they can have babies, and when they're done, they can come back and wrestle. So huge shout out to those ladies.
Hey, Derrick, man, Derrick, you might be starting something here, man, because you over here, you taking charge of the show over here, man. I'm liking this. We might have to do this for the pay-per-views, bro. That was awesome.
Thank you, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So now we go to the last match, which was the men's 30-man Royal Rumble match. The first entrant was AJ Styles. By the way, I thought it was so cool that when he was in the aisle and he did Shawn Michaels pose in the beginning. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I almost missed that. I didn't see that.
Yeah, because Shawn drew number 1 in 1995.
That's right. Yep. And
drew number in 1995 and won it.
What's it called? Let me ask you before we hit the men's Royal Rumble. I'm going to ask this question again. So who was your pick? Who was you siding with, saying, okay, I think this guy's probably going to take it this year?
The men's, and I can just go to my Twitter machine and I can tell you who I actually picked, because I think I wanted to pick Big E to win it, but I said, and I'm again, because you know the Twitter machine don't lie. I said, oh no, I wanted Damian Priest to win, but I was thinking that Big E was going to actually win the Royal Rumble.
Gotcha. I didn't think I was pretty sure Big E wasn't going to win. I think they're over their experiment with the New Day, man. I don't know. I love the New Day. I mean, like, you know, they can, you know, go forever, but I think that I'm gonna say this because I don't want to disrespect, because I love the New Day, man. They're one of my favorites of all time. But I just feel like where they are, they're phenomenal, man. I love the tag team. I love them going after with the tag team together. I like them individually, but I just don't feel like they shine as hard individually, man. It's like even with Big E's title run, I loved him getting the belt. I loved him getting the Money in the Bank.
Right.
But I
called the shot. He called the shot.
He did. He definitely did call a shot hard. He's a phenomenal actor. But I feel like if he was going to be taken seriously as a independent, I'm a champion guy, I feel like he's got to step away from the New Day image, man. Like all the way. Not just changing the music, not just not wearing New Day on the Speedos and trunks and stuff. I feel like he got to become a different character. And that's just me personally. I feel like that with a lot of characters. I feel like they need to reinvent themselves if they want to be seen in a different light. You can't come out like you're still doing the Brooklyn. Like, you gotta be, I'm a heavyweight now. We ain't playing games, or we are playing games, but just like Seth Rollins, just the reinvention, bro. Chris Jericho, that shit, because Chris Jericho is the most reinventive person. You never get tired of
The
Jericho's
Undertaker.
characters.
The Undertaker was the same way. I always
Yeah.
said that the Undertaker was the Madonna of pro wrestling because
Yeah.
there was always a reinvention. There was always something new, keeping you on your toes. Like Jericho's the same way. Like think about it.
With it.
You got 90s Jericho, you know, the white, you know, you have the Lionheart. Then you have, you know, Y2J, you know what I mean? Then he leaves, he comes back and save us Y2J. Then he goes heel and he's wearing suits, he's wearing trunks, you know, doing the Mohawk thing.
King
then he
of the
comes
world.
back in 2012 and he's got the light up jacket, you know what I mean? And he's doing all this. It's like every time Chris comes back when he was with WWE, it was like it was something new. Then what does he do when he goes to Japan? He creates this character called the Painmaker with the paint and everything else. He calls himself the Alpha over in Japan. You know what I mean? And then now he's over in AEW is doing the same thing. The Demo God, La Champion. You know, it's like all these different monikers under one umbrella. And I thought it's pure genius.
Yeah,
you know, Chris Jericho to do that.
I always thought that that's one of the biggest thing. I mean, I think that even when Roman was like, you know, stepping off from the Shield, like, you know, Moxley sat there and got his new music. Seth got his new music. He set it up. And what did Roman come out with? The same Shield song. You're the Shield to me still. Like, I can't see nothing different. Even though I love the Shield, but it's just like, I don't see you as a different character. I don't see you as somebody who's, okay, this guy's elevated or transformed. Like, you're just this guy without the other two guys now.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was going to get new music. I thought he was going to get new everything, new trunks, new whatever. And that's why I think for a while the fans resented him. And I mean, I felt bad for him in some instances because I'm just like, that was a bit undeserved. He didn't deserve that type of treatment. But I just think it's like, you know what? You're going to be our new Cena. Okay, we're going to give it right back to you. But you know what? I think he used that as fuel. And now this tribal chief, I mean,
unbelievable.
He is
I love it.
It's one of those things where it's like, I don't even want him to lose the belt, bro.
Yeah.
I don't even want him to lose it. Because
I'm ready for him to be done with it. I'm ready. I don't know who's gonna take it, but I don't want Brock to take that shit. I'll tell you that right now.
I want Roman to have an historic run, like a close to a Bruno Sammartino. We haven't, think about it, bro. We haven't had, I mean, I'm not counting Brock's 500-day championship reign because he was barely there. He wasn't there. I'm talking about a guy that's there every week, a guy that's always in the grind. I'm talking Roman Reigns. This title run is historic.
He's cleaned out the division, bro.
Absolutely. So it's like, what do you do? And it's like, well, hey, listen, you got to continue. And that's why I think they need to stretch the stories a little bit more. Because if you want because I mean, what made sense back in the day of why Hulk Hogan was champion for 4 years in the television era, because you got to remember that when Bob Backlund was the champion, he was on television sometimes, but they were a house show driven business. Exactly. How wrestling was. It wasn't a television business. What made Hogan right. And what they did, and wrestling was syndicated back in the Hogan era. So what they did, Hogan never wrestled on live TV. The only time you saw Hogan or Superstars of Wrestling or Wrestling Challenge is when he did a promo.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because
now Hogan,
there wasn't nobody really on those things. They just had most of the time
enhancement. It was enhancement matches.
Talent,
but you had your IC champion on there. You had your tag champs on there, and all your mid card guys. But for the most part, you had pretty much everybody else on the roster. But what would happen is when the cameras went off is when you got to see Hogan. So the thing is that you didn't, you want to see Hogan, you got to pay to see him. And Piper had the same thing. Piper never wrestled on TV. The only time you saw Piper on TV is when he hosted Piper's Pit. It has because he was the big, let me tell you something, brother. Roddy Piper, I'm talking about this is 84, 85, we're talking now, 86. Piper was the biggest villain in pro wrestling, 84, 85.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now. Yeah, he was the biggest. He wasn't just a heel. He was a villain. Okay. Yeah. And
that's awesome. I love the
Piper. And the only time you ever saw Roddy Piper on TV is when he hosted Piper's Pit. You had to go pay to see Roddy Piper wrestle. That's what made, and see, that's why they weren't overexposed back then, because you didn't see Hogan on TV every week. But guess what you did see when you got WWF magazine? You see Hulkamania t-shirt, you see this, you see that, you see the t-shirts in the crowd, Hulk rules and all this other stuff. That's what kept Hogan from being, you know what I mean? But after a while, by 91, Fans were starting to boo him. Yeah, fans were starting to boo him.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Like,
watch Survivor Series 91 when he faced The Undertaker. How many cheers?
They were booing him.
There was some of the crowd was cheering The Undertaker.
Gotcha.
Taker was a heel at the time.
I think you get tired of seeing them guys getting pushed so heavy though, man. It's just like,
well, but you got to understand though, the business back then was that you got to remember that the WWF WWE was a babyface territory. It was historically a babyface territory where the babyface is going to plant his flag in the ground, the WWE flag, the truth, justice, and the WWE way. This is what we do. And back in WCW, NWA, it was a heel-based territory where the babyface chased the heel. Where you saw Dusty Rhodes go through his struggles against Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen. When you got to see Magnum TA go through those same struggles, trying to get that world title from Ric Flair. When you saw Ricky Morton that was willing to leave his tag team to face Flair for the title and almost won it. Working from underneath. That was Dusty Rhodes' genius, man. Dusty Rhodes produced some amazing television during those days. Yeah, in 85 when Crockett, at the height of Crockett, 85, 86, 87. Like that was they talk about reality-based television. Dusty Rhodes was producing a lot of that stuff back then. But that was the difference between the two companies, was that the WWF historically was the babyface territory, and the NWA, Crockett, whatever you want to call it, they were a heel-based territory where the babyface worked from underneath. That's the difference.
Well, so now that was right before my time, right there. That's interesting. But okay, so you said you had what's the name to win it? You had
Damian Priest
to
win it.
I never would have thought of Damian Priest, man.
I was looking at Damian and another Monster Factory guy. I had to shout him out. But I think that it was either him or Big E. But once now mind you, this is before the Rumble. I want to make that very clear. But once I saw the business happen during the pay-per-view, I said, okay, Brock's going to come out at number 30. He's going to toss everybody out, and he's going to win it. And that's exactly what happened.
Damn,
because my nephew, I got the text message to prove it, because my nephew had texted me last night. He was like, what the heck are they gonna do? Blah, 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 blah. I said, dude, Brock's gonna win the Rumble. He's like, how is he gonna enter? I said, bro, he's going to enter the Rumble. And then as soon as he does it, he was like, how did you know that? I'm like, it's fucking pro wrestling, dude. Come on. It's pro wrestling.
Crazy. Apparently a bunch of people saw the same thing, man. I didn't see it. I wasn't even expecting it because, like I said, I just completely, I knew that was so in the bag, man. I knew that Brock and Roman was going to, and I guess it's because, like I said before, it's been such a buildup. Like, I knew they were going to have it. I thought whoever was going to win the Rumble was going to be the one who's going to be facing the Raw champion. So that's why I was like, I wasn't even thinking anything about Brock Lesnar and them. I'm like, they just did the shit with the Bobby Lashley match. There you go. That takes care of that right there. You know where they're going. I get it. It's not like Etched in Stone, or you need the Rumble to, certify it. But I just thought it was overkill, man. I thought that letting that shit happen, you just made two Royal Rumble freaking main event matches. The Bobby Lashley and Brock, and the fucking men's 30-man Royal Rumble all come together for one match. I like that shit. I ran upstairs and told my girl, when as soon as the Royal Rumble was over, I was like, yo, they sat there and built one match by kind of curving two giant matches, man. And I think that's where my final, this pay-per-view sucks. Like, that's where it came from. I'll be honest, it started hot.
Yeah, it did. Like I said, the Seth coming out with the Shield music, I thought it was a nice way to set up the pay-per-view. And the Women's Rumble wasn't bad. Yeah. But man, I like the Women's Rumble. I like the Women's Rumble better than the Men's Rumble, but it was so, I think because the Men's Rumble was so predictable in my mind, because I already knew, Brock's winning this thing. Yeah. I didn't mentally check out of it, but I was just kind of like, all right, let's see what's happening. We'll see what's going to happen. And the minute Brock came, like, okay, this is what's going to happen. So, hey, listen, again, I'm not sitting there, saying that I'm the know-it-all of pro wrestling, but this is only from my eyes and what I thought was going to happen. I could have been wrong, and I would have been I would have admitted. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like, that's they have to sell out 100,000 seats per night at WrestleMania, and they have to have in Vince's mind the two biggest main events to headline both those nights. So he has to. So think about it. The UFC, wins again. Two former UFC champions are headlining WrestleMania. So I think
good. It all sounds good. The bad thing about it is, man, I think I picked AJ Styles. I thought AJ was going to win the Royal Rumble, and I also thought that my second for it was I thought that Kevin was going to win the Royal Rumble. I thought something was going to happen where
that crossed my mind too with KO, but
I really thought KO was going to take it too.
Yeah, and that could be a match of WrestleMania with KO and Bobby Lashley. You never know.
I think it's going to be Seth and KO. I think Seth and KO are going to have their match because they're kind of building towards that.
Well, no, they just wrestled 2 years ago at WrestleMania. When it was the WrestleMania 36 when it was on a closed set.
Shit, Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Like what last year? Right? The Saudi Arabia. They just wrestled, not WrestleMania though. Yeah, they just wrestled. I forgot about that, but yeah, but they
what? A lot of people, you know what though? Not for nothing. A lot of people forget about WrestleMania 36, but it was just like it was the beginning of the pandemic. They had to
I didn't even watch that shit, bro.
I did. I watched it because I'm just like, what the hell? Yeah, I watched it. I watched WrestleMania and it was different. It was eerie because I'm just like, ooh, like this is a closed set, bro. There was nobody in there.
Yeah. And
I'm just like, ooh, man.
You felt bad for Drew McIntyre, man, because that was his his
that was supposed to have been his moment.
Yeah.
And he wins the match, the WWE champion, in front of no fans. I'm like, oh my God.
In the performance center. It wasn't even like the arena. Like,
they did what they could to dress it up. You know
exactly.
What I mean? Yeah. They did all they could to dress it up.
Man.
You figure they had, I forgot how many days they had to tape that, but you figure they had to get it, and there was only a limited amount of people that could be on set because of COVID. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they end up think about it. I don't know if it was the Miz that got sick, which turned the triple threat a ladder match into a triple just a ladder match with three guys. I think it was Morrison, Kofi, and one of the Usos.
That's crazy as hell, man.
Yeah, that's what ended up happening. So I don't remember what night it was, but they were in a bind. You know what I'm saying?
They tried to make it work best way they could. I mean, that's what everybody had to do.
Yeah.
But, we're back at it now. I'm definitely happy. Like, I don't even remember like the no fans thing, thank God, because I couldn't stand it, man. I couldn't stand the screens. I mean, they do what they did. They made it work. But I was happy when the fans came back, bro.
Yeah, I was like I said, having the WrestleMania experience twice. I was at 20 and I was at 29, and there is nothing on planet Earth like going to a WrestleMania, because you're meeting people from legitimately all over the world.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of I have a picture that I still have on my Facebook from WrestleMania 20. It was random people that I had met. There was one girl from Oklahoma, a few other people. We all took a group picture together. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, wow, like I don't know any of these people, but it was just these moments. And I met this guy I met on the train. We ended up becoming friends. We're still friends today, man.
He's common interest, man. I mean, like, it's a big
me
thing.
And Bob. Shout out to Bob G, man, out of South Jersey. But he and I met on the train, and he was just, because we met at New York Penn Station, and he was just telling, because his daughter had just turned, I think, a month old, I think, and he was just so excited to be a dad for the first time. And then now Taylor's turning 18 next month. You know what I'm saying? So it's like. Yeah. It's like, wow,
time you never know.
Yeah, and I still talk to Bob all the time. Huge action figure collector, huge tape collector, really, really good guy, man. But I met him there, and And going to WrestleMania 29, you know, I got to take my nephew. My nephew's and I are 10 years apart. He had never been to a WrestleMania before, so to have him experience that was pretty cool, you know, and just meeting people and everything, you know, and just trying to think that it was truly, you know, an experience. You know, I went to the Hall of Fame the night before.
Oh man, yeah, that.
Yeah,
Right
and I got to
would
see,
love
and I got to,
that.
I got to see I got to see Bruno Sammartino speak. You know what I mean? Because that's when he went to the Hall of Fame, and being at Madison Square Garden, where he headlined so many events when in his day, and for him and to hear that, man, you could hear a pin drop in there when he spoke. Everybody just because that, and mind you, this is the same night that number 45 got inducted into the celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame, and we gave him a WrestleMania size booing that night. This is in 2013, before he had any aspirations to run for president. Nonetheless, yeah, you know, but bigger Booker T was in that class, Trish Stratus was in that class, Mick Foley was in that class, Bob Backlund was in that class, and then Bruno Sammartino, yeah. So to be a part of that whole weekend, you know, I went to Access that weekend, and I got to meet Mark Henry, I got to meet Tamina Snuka, and I just took pictures of just so many other wrestlers that were around and stuff. I actually auditioned for Christmas Bounty with The Miz. Actually, I got to audition for that movie. I was a bit annoyed because you had to buy a ticket to Access to audition for this film, which I'm like, okay, I'll go, because I wasn't planning on going to. I didn't want to meet any wrestlers. I'm like, I'm not gonna meet wrestlers. But then I'm like, all right, I might as well just make it worth my while. So the night before, because I'm staying with a friend of mine in North Jersey, I go get about 10 copies of my headshot and resume. I'm treating this as a regular audition. I go in there, I go to where they're having the auditions, and the woman's looking at me and she was like, what is this? I'm like, it's my headshot and resume. She was like, oh, well, I appreciate you bringing this, but no, we're not going to need that. She's like, you're an actor? I'm like, yeah, I'm an actor for real. She was like, oh, well, you're not going to need that. So I think they just wanted a fan to get the role and not somebody that's like a trained actor.
Trying to act. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, because I had to read everything on the teleprompter. I'm just like, okay. I was like, okay, this is kind of okay, whatever. But I did audition for a movie that starred The Miz, and I made it worth my while for the 4-hour block that I had bought, and I got to meet like I said, Mark Henry, and I got to meet Tamina, and I got to walk around and see and just take pictures of a lot of the exhibits that was happening at the hall of, at the fan access, taking pictures of Macho Man's WrestleMania 10 gear that they have on display. Shawn Michaels WrestleMania 12, I believe, his stuff that was on display, and quite a few other, wrestlers, items that were on display, championship, the women's championship belt that was held, that was defended at WrestleMania 1. With Leilani Kai and Wendy Richter, that championship belt was in there. I took pictures of so many, like Andre the Giant's statue was in there, So
that's something I would like to see in person.
Yeah, so it's definitely if you ever, I know Mania is going to be in California next year at SoFi Stadium, yeah, it's going to be there. But if you ever get a chance to go to WrestleMania, I would definitely recommend you, especially if you're going to travel, to do the whole week, you know what I mean? Like, Hall of Fame.
I would want to be there for everything.
Absolutely. I think I would. It'll definitely be worth your while. You really get you want to meet a lot of the wrestlers. There's a lot of indie, and what's really cool is Mania Week has created its own thing, because now a lot of indie promotions run their events that week in whichever area WrestleMania is going to be in. So it's going to be in Dallas. So there's going to be a lot. I know for the culture, they're doing a show. GCW, I know, is doing a show. I think Ring of Honor is actually doing a show, that they're coming back to do a show that weekend. There's so many indie promotions there. They're going to be operating out of Dallas that whole entire week. So if you want to watch other promotions besides WWE, I definitely recommend you do that too. If anybody wants to go down there, for sure.
For sure, man. That's definitely, This is one of the funnest times to be a wrestling fan, is because there's so much going on with WrestleMania. Man, WrestleMania is always is a blast, man. But
But there's so much
Derrick,
content,
man,
so
we've
much
been
content out
talking.
there, man.
Yeah, we've been going over this for we almost hitting we over 2 hours, man. This is one of the longest entertainment shows we've ever had.
Hey,
But
man, I appreciate it, man.
yeah, it's phenomenal, bro. I love it. I love it. You have a lot of knowledge in this field, man. Let's we pretty much talked about everything that happened. Royal Rumble, Brock won. He came out. It was one thing I did notice that I kind of thought, I don't know if I'm wrong or not, but I kind of felt like this Royal Rumble kind of showed, I don't want to say this sounding bad because I respect everybody, man, but it just kind of showed that the star power or the main event quality caliber even is not really there with WWE right now, man.
Because want to know why? And I know the reason why, because they don't want anybody to be bigger than the brand. I don't think there's going to ever be. I don't think, and this is no disrespect to anybody, but I just don't think there's going to ever be another transcending superstar ever again there, because there's never going to be a John Cena level type guy there. There's not going to be a Stone Cold Steve Austin, Rock, or Hogan.
That way.
No, it's not, because it's truly all about, the WWE brand, and I don't think no one's going to ever be bigger than the brand. And this is no disrespect to anybody there, but I just think the way that it is set up, I think that's truly what's going to be going forward, in my opinion.
Yeah, because they got, it's phenomenal talent.
Sure,
but it doesn't, like I was saying earlier, it's just like you just don't. And I am going by like the comparison, like just you don't see the guys that, like you said, John Cena, man. You can say John Cena to somebody who's never watched a damn wrestling match in their life, and they're like, "Oh, that's a guy from WWE, right?" Mm-hmm. Like they just know him, you know what I mean? But now it's like, right. You have guys who are, amazing, like Otis and Chad Gable. Man, them guys are freaking amazing, bro. Riddle, like, that was another one that I was like, when I saw Riddle when he came in, I was like, if Riddle won this, I would not be mad. Like, if Riddle won this or turned on Randy Orton to win it or something like that, like, I would not be mad at all. But I don't get it anymore, man. I'm like, damn, well, everybody in here looks like they could be fighting for the Intercontinental Championship. Like, I can't see the big WrestleMania on a lot of these guys. Of course, Randy Orton and AJ Styles, Kevin Owens and stuff like that. But I'm talking like, even the younger guys, like even Damian Priest, and he's freaking phenomenal. Like, I like him, but I don't feel like he's been built yet to that point where I'm like, oh man, I can't wait. Like this guy, he's about to take over the whole thing. Drew McIntyre, he's definitely somebody where it's like, they at least they tried to progress him. I mean, he's phenomenal.
He just he was champion at the wrong time.
Yeah.
During the pandemic.
I think so.
You know what I mean? So. Like that's the part that sucked, that we didn't really get a chance to see him at his greatness with the live crowd, unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't know if he missed it. I don't know if he's still. I think Drew McIntyre needs a nice heel run. I think he needs to switch sides. I think he needs to come off really strong and make people hate him. I think if he did that, he would get a lot of attention drawn his way, because he was a really good heel before he jumped into the face role. Yeah. But I think if he jumped into a heel role and really, took out people and like really did it, like dominated the heel role, I think when he did a switch again, I think he'd be pretty popular. I think people would really like love his ass after that.
Sure.
But, yeah, man, but we saw it. It was what it was. I had my points on it. Talking about it now with you was like making me kind of like, oh well, yeah, I guess whatever. I just kind of love wrestling, man. I love wrestling, yo. It's just one of the things. But yo, listen, Derrick, we got to talk, man, because this was awesome. You're very factual. You know a lot of stuff about this, and I've always wanted to do shows where we talking about like wrestling reviews and stuff like that. I love this shit, man. But thank you so much for coming back on. Trust me, ain't nothing gonna happen with this interview already. I've been checking it the whole time I've been doing it. But we're gonna have this out. It's gonna be out. Beeline. Thank you guys so much for sitting in with us. I hope you enjoyed this review. We're gonna do more things like this. We're gonna try to come in. We got WrestleMania coming. We all these review shows. I'm gonna try to see if we can come up with a way like to do it like even off of the night. Maybe we'll do the review shows like right after they happen. Or at least like, the next day. So at least you don't have to wait all week, because this will be on Thursday and right on Saturday. But we're going to work it out. It's the first one we're doing. But hey, listen, Derrick T Lewis, thank you so much, bro, once again. And it's been great talking to you, bro. Much success to everything you're doing. Thanks for all the shout outs that you did. Everybody go check him out. Please go check him out. Hit him up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm going to leave all the information in the description of this video. and support, man. People are working hard, and it's amazing. Commentary. Hey, look, Derrick, real quick. I gotta listen. We do a thing called showing off on the entertainment show, man. Usually a guy will come on and rap or sing or whatever. Do me a favor. Introduce your boy Brian B as a show-off moment coming to the B-line. Can we get that from you, D? Like a little free work there?
Yeah, sure, I can do that.
Oh, here we go. All right, so B-line. This is Derrick T Lewis. He is a commentator for the wrestling promotion Monster Factory. I'm always ready to get that wrong for some reason. Monster Factory, and this is what he does, man. He knows this game. You see it. You've heard it this whole interview. But he's going to introduce your boy Brian B coming to the B-line. Check it out. This is Derrick T. Show it off. Go for it, D.
His opponent from Atlanta, Georgia, weighing 265 pounds, Brian B.
Let's go. And if you don't think that, take his hat off. That's what I miss. I miss the old school Road Warriors yelling, hey, tell me something, McMahon. I'll kick his ass. And I'll never see him. I love it, yo. Hey, V-Line, I love y'all, man. Thank you guys so much. Like it, share it, subscribe, and tell your friends. Hide your kids, hide your wife. Oh, yeah. We out, yo. Thank you.